So, when a company decides to build its digital presence, its apps, its website, its entire online operation, it has to pick a blueprint. And today, we're digging into two fundamentally different ways of doing that. One is built on solid, predictable foundations, and the other is built for constant, rapid change. As we're about to see, the choice between them is one of the most critical a business can make.
Okay, to really wrap our heads around this, I want you to think about a question. Are we building a skyscraper, or are we playing with Lego? I know, it might sound a little weird, but this one analogy is probably the clearest way to understand the two very different worlds of digital architecture we're about to explore. So keep that in your mind as we go.
So here's what's on deck for this explainer. We'll start with the absolute basics. What even is IT architecture? Then we'll dive into the two models, legacy and cloud native. After that, we'll put them in the ring, head to head. And finally, we'll talk about why this decision matters so much to any business today.
All right, let's kick things off. What in the world is IT architecture? I mean, before we can compare two different approaches, we need to get on the same page about what we're even talking about. And at its heart, it's really simple. It's the master plan, the blueprint for everything.
Here's the best way to think about it. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? Well, a company needs an IT architecture for the exact same reason, to make sure all its technology, its apps, its data, its networks, all of it works together smoothly to actually help the business do what it needs to do. It's the invisible skeleton holding the whole digital body together.
Okay, so let's dive into our first model, legacy architecture. This is the old school, the traditional way of building things. This approach came of age in an era, well, before the internet was everything. A time when things were a bit more predictable and stability was king.
And boom! Here it is, our skyscraper. This is the perfect picture of legacy architecture. It's massive, it's solid, and everything is deeply connected. Now, this thing is built to be rock solid, incredibly reliable. But, and this is a big but, if you want to change something, say add a new set of windows on the 20th floor, it's a huge, expensive project that might just disrupt the whole building.
You'll hear the term monolithic thrown around a lot here, and it just means it's all one giant single piece of code. From the moment you log in to the final checkout, it's all part of the same massive structure, usually living on the company's own physical servers in a data center. It's incredibly stable, for sure, but trying to update any single part of it is like performing surgery on a spider web. It's slow, it's risky, and you could mess up the whole thing.
All right, now let's flip the script and look at the other side of the coin, cloud-native architecture. This is a totally different philosophy, born and raised in the age of the internet. This approach doesn't worship at the altar of stability. Nope, it's engineered for speed, for flexibility, and for constant, non-stop change.
And this brings us to our Lego model. Instead of one giant skyscraper, imagine your application is built from hundreds of tiny individual Lego bricks. Each brick has one specific job. Need a new feature? You just snap on a new Lego brick. Don't like how something works? Pop that brick off and swap it for a new one. You can change one part without ever worrying about knocking the whole thing over.
So in the tech world, these little Lego bricks have a name, microservices. Think of each one as a tiny, specialized app that does just one job really well. And they're not all sitting on one big server, they're spread all across the cloud. This design makes it ridiculously easy to update one piece at a time. And security is completely different too. It's not about one big fortress wall, it's about putting a tiny little security guard on every single Lego brick.
Okay, so we've got our skyscraper versus our Lego set. Let's put them in the ring head to head and see how they really stack up on the stuff that actually matters to a business.
First round, agility versus stability. Legacy systems are stable, but man, are they slow to change. Think about a big, old bank. You want their core system to be rock solid, but getting a new feature out can take months, even years. Then you have companies like Netflix. They can push hundreds of tiny updates a day. Why? Because they're just swapping out little Lego bricks, not renovating a skyscraper.
Next up, let's follow the money. With a legacy system, you're buying a mansion. You pay a massive amount up front for all the hardware, the software, the whole shebang. That's a huge capital expense, or CapEx. Cloud native, that's like renting an apartment. You pay a monthly fee for exactly what you use. If you need more space, you just rent a bigger apartment. That's an operational expense, or OpEx, total financial flexibility.
Okay, but what happens when something breaks? With a legacy system, if a server in a data center fails, you're probably waiting for an actual human to go fix it. The service could be down for hours.
Cloud-native systems, on the other hand, are literally designed to fail. It sounds crazy, but it's brilliant. The system expects pieces to break, so when one part goes down, traffic automatically and instantly gets rerouted to a healthy part, maybe even in another country. You, the user, never even notice a hiccup.
And what about security? Well, the legacy model is a medieval fortress. It's got a huge wall and a deep moat to keep the bad guys out. But what happens if a spy gets inside? They have free rein to wander the entire castle. The cloud-native zero-trust model is like a modern spy agency. It trusts no one. Every door to every room requires a keycard and a fingerprint scan every single time. If one room gets compromised, the damage is completely contained.
So after all that, you can probably see that this isn't just some nerdy tech squabble, right? This is way bigger than that. This is a fundamental business decision that can make or break a company.
You know, this quote from our source material just nails it. This isn't just about technology. This choice defines how a company can operate, how it can innovate, and how it can compete. It's as core as your business model itself.
And believe me, the stakes here are incredibly high. Your architecture determines how fast you can launch a new product. It's the difference between your website crashing during the Super Bowl ad you just paid millions for or handling the traffic flawlessly. It is, quite literally, the foundation your digital business is built on.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, first off, in the real world, it's almost never a simple this or that choice. A lot of big companies have a hybrid model. They keep their stable legacy skyscrapers running core operations while building new, nimble Lego features around the edges. The key is to be smart about it. Focus on upgrading the parts of your business where speed gives you a real competitive advantage. At the end of the day, it's not about having the shiniest new tech. It's about making sure your tech is actually helping your business win.
And all of this brings us to one final, really important question to ask, whether it's about your own company or just ones you use every day. Is their digital foundation a skyscraper built for a predictable past, or is it a box full of Legos ready to build and rebuild for an unpredictable future? The answer to that question tells you just about everything you need to know.